Good morning. Happy Sunday. On Uncivil Laws channel, he posted an interview with the police given by a Chandler Halderson. I'm not really familiar with who that is, but it's a fairly boring interview, and you can see that Uncivil Law agrees with me, and it's just heart-wrenching for an attorney to see someone waive their rights. Chandler Halderson was read his rights multiple times, and despite being read his rights, he was willing to waive them because he didn't understand his rights. Anyway, there's a couple things in there that I disagreed with Uncivil Law on, two statements that he made. Number one, he said that they didn't have to read him his rights because he was free to go at any time. I guess that's number one. And number two, I don't think he was free to go at any time. They might have said he was free to go at any time, but considering they picked him up and drove him there, I don't think he was free to go at any time. I think they were going to arrest him at the end of it. I think they knew that. And number two, he said the part about them not having to read him his rights, I think they did. I think that's a question of fact for the judge in a motion to suppress or something like that. And considering the fact that it was taking place at a police station, considering the fact that they had picked him up and taken him to the police station, it was the second interview, etc. I do think that there's a good chance a judge would find that it was a custodial interview. So I would bet, well, I think the police were smart to have erred on the side of caution by reading him his rights and making sure he understood his rights. And I'm using that understood his rights in huge air quotes, and waived his rights before they interviewed him. Now, again, really why I'm bringing this up is because Uncivil really stressed, if you're given the opportunity to ask for an attorney, ask for an attorney. The reason why you want to do that is because it stops the process. They can't ask you any more questions once you've asked for an attorney. I mean, there are a few ways that you can essentially waive it after you've asked for it again. I mean, you could start talking to them again, and you can start saying things, and maybe that'll open it up again. Like if you start saying, I want an attorney. Oh, hey, but let me tell you more about the crime while we're waiting for my attorney to show up. You know, that might kind of waive it. Or if there's a long enough delay between when you ask for an attorney and then maybe they start asking questions again, like a week or 2 weeks later, maybe that's long enough to have waived or to have waived it, or that they don't have to ask you again, in other words. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, and I apologize. So the good thing about asking for an attorney is it stops the process. And your attorney most likely is going to keep the process stopped, because once you get an attorney, he's probably going to say, no, my client isn't going to give you an interview. And if you want to interview my client, you have to ask me, and I'm going to say no for my client. And if I'm present with my client, my sole job there is going to be asserting the Fifth Amendment on my client's behalf the entire time of the interview. You're going to get nothing, cops. And that'll probably stop them from trying to do any more interviews. Probably. Now, I was asked a question in my comment section on my last video where I said, don't talk to the cops. And that person said, hey, if you do ask for an attorney and you are given an attorney, should you then give the interview? Should you then talk to the police? And my answer to that is, well, if you've been given an attorney, you should probably listen to that attorney. That attorney is going to know things about your case file that I don't know. In fact, I'm not giving you legal advice because I don't know who the hell you are or what you're facing. But if you have an attorney, he's probably going to know who you are and what you're facing. He's probably going to take a minute to familiarize himself with the potential charges being levied against you, and at least your understanding of the facts surrounding it, and maybe the police's understanding of the facts around it, so that he could make informed decisions in crafting a strategy and or a tactic for you. So listen to your attorney. And I'm not trying to get in between your relationship with you and your attorney. So yeah, but my philosophy is no. My goal as an attorney, if I am representing a criminal defendant in an interview, is to shut that interview down. Because people have a tendency to say shit they shouldn't say. They just do. They have a tendency to say little lies, little inaccuracies, and then they get flustered. And then even if they're innocent, they might get flustered and say things that are inaccurate. And then all of a sudden it looks like they're a liar because they're like, oh wait, no, I need to correct my story because I said this wrong, blah. And it just looks terrible. And nothing you say can be used for you. Everything you say can be used against you. In the Chandler Halderson video that Uncivil Law was playing, it was the video of his interrogation that was being played at trial. They literally used his interrogation against him. Now, I don't even think he really said anything incriminating in there, but I mean, you could just see that he was untrustworthy. And so if the defense ever wants to put him up on the stand, basically he's already impeached himself before he ever even gets to go up on the stand. There's nothing to gain. Well, I mean, theoretically, if the state wants you to roll over on co-defendants and testify against co-defendants as part of a plea deal, then maybe you could get a better deal by doing that. But that's really the only situation I could think of where it would be at all beneficial for you to testify. My dog's, I think, gonna poop. So I'm gonna have to stop this. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.